Euthanasia, you've certainly heard the term before. I also call it mercy killing. Now, I'm not talking about life and death in a real sense. I'm talking about gambling. And I'm talking specifically about yesterday's best bet for me on the Cowboys. The good thing about it is if you're going to lose, get it over with early. I mean, by the middle of the first quarter, I knew that game was over. Game, set, match, like I always like to say. I mean, that's the definition of euthanasia and mercy killing when it comes to gambling. So I didn't have to watch the rest of the game. I already knew I lost money. The best thing about the Cowboys-Packers game yesterday, turned it off, caught up on Reacher, Amazon Prime. Had to catch up on episode 6 and 7 because the series finale is this Thursday night. So watch those 2 episodes and then got ready for the Rams and the Lions game. Yeah, so it was one of those days. But listen, here on the video report, took a split again after splitting on Saturday, split yesterday, was on the right side with the play that I thought was best with the Rams plus the points, lost with the total. And by the way, one of regular followers here that comments often said that I didn't give any props to his Lions. Listen, they're a good team, but I didn't think they were going to cover the spread, and they didn't. So it doesn't matter whether they're good or bad. I didn't care. I just didn't want them to cover, and they didn't. But again, yesterday, I thought the Rams, another team that finished so strong at the end of the regular season, a team that suffered because they rested their starters in week number 18 against the 49ers. And you saw in the first half yesterday where that offense was simply out of sync. And really what hurt the Rams most yesterday was their 0 for 3 performance in the red zone. How many times can you settle for field goals? And initially when they came out, I got to tell you, I thought the Lions were going to blow them out there early in the first half. I was pleasantly surprised that it was a single score game going into intermission. But the Rams offense was not in sync. It was not playing nearly as well during that 6-game stretch where they surged to make the playoffs at the end of the regular season. So again, it's one of those deals. Listen, one thing I always used to say in interviews, and at my peak, I was doing 40 to 50 radio interviews a week. I was doing TV in, New York, Chicago, foxsports.com, Cleveland. God, I was all over the damn place. It used to be a nightmare. I got to be honest with you. Doing 50, 60 interviews a week from Thursday through Friday, it was like I just spent the time constantly either in a TV studio or on the phone. And everybody, because you're doing them across the country, everybody wanted to know who you'd like, as if I was a savant, this guru, that I had all the answers. And the one thing I always used to say, and I'll say it to you here as well, I said it on the website today, you never let your pride get in your way of your predictions. Don't be afraid to admit that sometimes you just don't have a clue. And that's where I am with today's games. I really don't like either of them. I'm going to discuss both of them today. I've got 2 complimentary plays in the NBA because I think the NBA card is extremely strong today. And that's where my best bet is going to be. And why the hell not? Because, shoot, I was going to say something else. I mean, I'm going for basketball winner number 23 out of 34, top-rated NBA best bet number 14 out of 17. And there's one particular game, this cheap chalk, I think is going to roll by at least 13 points. So that's going to be my best bet. I'm going to watch both games. I'm going to give you my opinions, but I'll get to, by the way, if you're interested, it's not advertised on the site. If you want the NBA play, it's half price. It's HALF. There you go. It's nothing special, but there you go. If you're interested in NBA play to supplement your NFL selections today. So let's get started here talking about the NFL selections. Oh, by the way, a special announcement here. I wanted to let you know I've decided that I'm going to start the Coachroach Club. Yes, the Coachroach Club. For every moron that writes in, and I have fun with this. I have fun, and I hope you have fun with it too. Every moron that writes in from this point forward, I'm going to give your name and give the comments that you provided, and you're going to be an honorary member of the Coachroach Club, the DeMarco Coachroach Club. And today, the newest member is going to be a guy by the name of Dylan Gee, Dillanghee. Dylan Gee. I hope, Dylan, I'm pronouncing your name correctly, because I would really be upset if I'm not. Dylan wrote in yesterday, this bald-headed mother. Oh, can I say that? I don't think I can. But Dylan, you know how I feel about you. Dylan said that my NFL picks suck. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the same NFL picks here over the past 13 weeks, and I'm 43 and 23 with a push that I'm giving away for free. And I'm going to have a winning NFL season. And I just had a winning college football season with my best bets. Dylan, you're not even a customer at my site, and you never have been. So you're an effing moron, but you're officially a member of the Cockroach Club. Can't wait to add some more members here, Riggs. We're going to have a big membership drive here for the Cockroach Club. Okay, so let's talk about the games. Let's talk about the Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Obviously, I'm a Philadelphia fan. I grew up. I don't bleed Eagles green or anything like that, but I'm a big Eagles fan. What are the problems facing the Eagles tonight? Well, they've sucked the last 6 weeks. How about that? Jalen Hurts is playing with a dislocated middle finger on his throwing hand. Oh, is that what I was just doing to Dylan Gee? I'm sorry. You've got A.J. Brown, who was really the best receiver, along with the Cowboys C.D. Lamb in the first half season. Second half of the season, he certainly struggled because the passing game fell apart for the Eagles, too. He is out because of a knee injury. So after Devontae Smith and, Dallas Goedert, who are the Eagles going to throw the ball to? Quez Watkins, the guy who flubbed it in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, he had 8 catches in a meaningless game against the Giants last week. Maybe Julio Jones, who I think was targeted 18 times in limited action and came up with 11 catches. He well past his prime, but maybe he comes through in the clutch tonight. I don't know. The other issues with the Eagles, their pass protection. The strength of that team has been the offensive line, but really the second half of the season, it has not been as stout as was last year or in the first half of the season. The defense has just been a fiasco. Absolutely no pass rush, no pressure at all on opposing quarterbacks. The secondary has been in shambles because of injuries, and let's face it, the linebacker core is non-existent because Howie Roseman, the general manager, simply never invests any money in bringing any talent in the linebacker core. So all that being said, I still have to go with the Eagles tonight because it comes down to this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are quarterbacked by Baker Mayfield. I made the mistake a few weeks ago with a raise the bar 20-dime play, and I went 5-2 with them in the NFL this season of backing the Buccaneers. After they had won 4 straight games, they were at home, they were taking on the New Orleans Saints, and they got their ass kicked. And Baker Mayfield, who was on a nice little run, had a miserable game. He's coming into this game with some minor injuries. He was officially listed as questionable, but he's going to start tonight. And I thought to myself after this game, what are you doing? When's the last time you ever put good money on bad teams, good money on bad quarterbacks? What are you doing betting on Baker Mayfield? You remember those type of things after a loss. I just can't back the Bucs. Are the Eagles any good? Are they going to lose next week? Whoever they play, it doesn't matter. I think if they win, they go to Detroit. They have no chance in that game. I'm willing to lay the points and take Philadelphia here because I just don't believe in the Bucs. Would I bet the game? If you gave me money, I wouldn't. I'm just telling you. But of the two plays, I like them more. Now, let's go to the Blizzard game in Buffalo. Do I think the Steelers are any good? Absolutely not. Sorry, all you Steelers fans with your terrible Dallas. I'm sorry. I guess if I had an honorary membership to Franco's Army, they would kick me out today. But I do not believe that at all. Obviously, the Steelers are going to come out and try to impose their will and run the ball. Bills are certainly, you've got 2 cold weather teams here. But I like the way the Bills were playing. Of course, I used them last Sunday when they went to Miami. I think it benefits Buffalo having the extra day, being at home, coming off that tough physical win at Miami last Sunday night. I'm going to go with them here today. I would like to see Buffalo get the run game established because they weren't able to run at Miami. And with James Cook, he really, had powered that offense. They had to revert to Josh Allen really being a one-man show at Miami. Problem with that, he had to throw the couple of touchdowns and a couple of interceptions. But I'm going to go with them. 10 points I know is a huge number. Of the 2 plays, however, I do like Philadelphia more. Now, your official free plays today. Let's take a look at the NBA. I think a very interesting game is going to be Golden State, a 7.5-point favorite. I know the Warriors have lost 7 out of 10. I know that Chris Paul is out, Gary Payton is out, Moses Moody is out, but Draymond Green is coming back today. Now, he's missed 16 straight games. The Warriors are 8-8 without him. I think that gives them a little bit of a motivational lift, a little emotional lift going into this game. But this is more about going against the Memphis Grizzlies, who, as I've noted before, should be waving the Red Cross flag every time they come out of the locker room. The latest injury, Desmond Bain, who has had a phenomenal season with John Morant out this year. I mean, what a season he has turned in. 24.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, 5.3 assists, playing almost 38 minutes a game. As you know, he suffered an ankle sprain a couple of nights ago in Friday's game. He is going to be out at least 6 weeks. What do they have left? This is like a G League team. The only guy that really have left from their projected starting five for this season is Jaren Jackson Jr., who has also had a great season. He is questionable today, as is Santi Aldama, who has been a pretty valuable reserve, averaging a little over 10 points and 5 rebounds a game. I think this is a prime spot to take Golden State. This game is 6 o'clock Eastern time. The Warriors are laying 7.5 points. Think about it. Oh, and in case you didn't know, they also lost Marcus Smart for like 6 weeks to a ruptured tendon in one of his fingers earlier in this week. Derrick Rose has been out forever. I mean, when I call up the NBA.com injury report, I mean, Memphis is like this big. The rest of the NBA is this big. It's just amazing. They must have 10 players listed. Again, they're a G League team right now. The other game I like is early in the afternoon. It goes at 2:30 Eastern time. It's New Orleans -4 at Dallas. These two just played the first half of a home series in Dallas on Saturday, and the Pelicans won that game 118-110. A couple of things here. The Pelicans were coming off a loss Friday night at Denver, right? So second leg of a back-to-back. A normal situation that I would go against a team like that, but they won that game. And here's the thing that's even more impressive. Zion was out. McCollum was out. Brandon Ingram was out. Those are their top 3 scorers. Trey Murphy, their 5th leading scorer, he was out too. They weren't injured. It was just a day of rest since they played the big game in Denver the night before. Yet they won that game. That was their 8th win in 9 road games. Now, the Mavericks were shorthanded as well. Luka was out. That was his 2nd straight miss. I think he has an ankle injury. Dante Exum was out. The impressive rookie, Derek Lively, the 2nd out of Duke, was out as well. But when you take 4 of your top 5 scorers and you're on the road and you win and you out-rebound the Mavericks, I think it was, I wrote this down here, I think you out-rebounded by 11. And you have Jordan Hawkins, the rookie out of Connecticut, exploding for a season-high 34 points. Pretty impressive. Well, today, those 4 guys for the Pelicans are all probable, and they're expected to play. Luka is listed as doubtful. Exum, who has played very well in his return to the NBA and seeing a lot of action, he is out. Lively is questionable, but I think he's probably going to play. I mean, the Mavericks got some good contributions, even though they lost that game. Looking at the box score, I mean, Kyrie Irving, Derrick Jones Jr., and Tim Hardaway Jr., 33, 24, and 24 points respectively. But they don't have a lot of depth. They don't rebound well, especially when Lively's not in the lineup. Grant Williams, listen, this is Grant Williams' line score in that Saturday game. When he was on the floor, the Mavericks were outscored by 16 points in 14 minutes. I don't know if he's in shape or what, but on the season, he's just averaging 8.2 points and 3.6 rebounds. He does not look anything like the Grant Williams who was such a good contributor as a 6-man and sometimes starter for the Boston Celtics. So I think this is an extremely cheap price to take the Pelicans, who again have won 8 of their last 9 on the road. Of those 2, I tell you what, I like them equally. I would lean a little more toward the Pelicans, the early game, and make them my top 3 pick, and then go with the Warriors as number 2. The one college game I looked at today is Minnesota and Iowa. You know, I used Iowa and gave you them as a free pick on Friday night, part of a 3-0 sweep. Iowa is just a great play at home where they've only lost 1 game. On the road, however, they're 0-4. Lost by 9 at Creighton, lost by 25 at Iowa State, lost by 19 at Purdue, lost by 9 at Wisconsin. But remember, 3 of those teams have been ranked in the top 20 this season. But this has been a one-sided series. Iowa's won 4 straight in 6 of the last 7 meetings in this series. Minnesota just had its 7-game win streak snap with a 12-point loss at Indiana on Friday, a game where the Golden Gophers shot 3 for 20 from three-point range. 14 turnovers in the game led to 16 points for the Hoosiers, who are not that good. But again, they were at home. And overall, Minnesota just shot 39% in that particular contest. Now, Minnesota has won 9 in a row at Williams Arena since a 2-point home loss to Missouri back on November 16th. And they've been in Nebraska and they've been in Maryland. And speaking in Nebraska, one of the reasons I went with Iowa on Friday night is because I thought it was a classic letdown situation for the Cornhuskers going to Ames because the Cornhuskers had knocked off number 1 Purdue a few nights earlier. Very interesting game, a very cheap price. You know, you would tend to gravitate toward Minnesota because, again, Iowa's 0-4 on the road. But I think Minnesota is a fraud. I don't think that team is that good. And sooner or later, Iowa's going to break through and win a road game. I think they're a deeper team. They're a better shooting team. So not an official free pick, but I actually like the Hawkeyes in this. So let's see what happens here. Let's see if the Hawkeyes can actually win this damn game. Anyway, those are your selections for today. I wish you well, guys, and we'll talk again soon. Good luck, everybody.